A sneaky signing is incoming for the Houston Texans as the latest Sports Illustrated article says the Texans are linked to a former first round pick, and a lot of rumors have been on the media about, the Texans need to add to their offensive line. First and foremost, I think the Texans O-line is set. They're not going to do much. This is a player who they could go after, but I feel like they got the veterans that they wanted to. They drafted a tackle. They traded up for him in the second round. So this team is pretty set, and I don't believe they're going to go out of their way to sign any of these players. Now, if you're new to the channel, 83% of you are not subscribed to the channel. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Texans news, just go ahead and hit that sub button. The support on the channel has been unreal as of lately, and last video we talked about the offensive line and how I'm just sick and tired of everyone saying this is a terrible offensive line. The Texans didn't do anything to address the big need of trading Tunsil, getting rid of Kenyon Green. Those are pieces that needed to be traded, as people commented on the last video. And looking at this new player that they're quote-unquote interested in signing, Jedrick Wills. And there's been some controversy with Wills in the past in terms of him sitting out. He had a knee injury in 2023 that held him out for the whole season. He got hurt in week 9. 2024, he had a weird season where he sat out and said it was a business decision. So, again, he's only 26 years old, so that's a potential positive. But another thing to note, Wills is an off-the-field project. I don't know if that's necessarily there's truth to it, but when he's not playing until week 3 and doesn't participate in every offensive snap until week 5, choosing to sit out himself because he's not ready, he's not 100% back, even though he kind of worded it wrong with a business decision. So in technicality, he sat out because of his knee was not feeling 100%. Due to the lingering injury of his knee, Will described it as a business decision. He could have just said, I'm not healthy, my knee's wrong, and Coach Kevin Stefanski called him out on it. But now second-year tackle DeJuan Jones is taking his spot. So I think there's a reason that Wills is still not signed. Not only has that knee injury affected him, but even his stats for last season, he was not anything crazy to be wowed by, right? 7 penalties and only 245 sacks. 245 snaps, 3 sacks allowed. Again, nothing crazy here. And when you're the Texans and you're saying, they should go after Jedrick Wills, I feel like there's other options that they could go after, maybe a Brandon Sheriff or somebody else, because you're looking at who's available, and because the Texans desperately need offensive tackle, they don't. They signed Cam Robinson to a 1-year, $14 million contract. They are not going to keep him long. They signed Laken Tomlinson to a 1-year deal in terms of the guard position. They signed Trent Brown to a 1-year contract. Again, he's past his prime. He's older. He's been injury prone. But those are guys that they got to fill the void. They're done signing guys. They're not going to go out and get Jedrick Wills, who's had problems with his knee, who's had problems signing contracts, who's had problems playing well and having 7 penalties, not to mention he was a project in terms of off the field, and Browns fans were questioning that it's only a matter of time when he's going to get his quarterback injured because his blindside ability to block is not good. There was a clip of him against the Titans going around the edge, and it was just bad. So, again, Wills has not proven that he can be anything good. Yes, he's only 25 and he's still a free agent. And if there's a team that desperately needs a tackle, this is not a bad signing. But the Texans do not desperately need a tackle unless Trent Brown goes down, and you also have Blake Fisher. If Fisher is so incredibly bad to where you're like, okay, we have to figure something out, Jedrick Wills is still sitting right there, and I don't think he's going to go anywhere anytime soon. He's a big player, 6'5", 300 pounds, and you can put him at right tackle, considering left tackle you have Cam Robinson, and you have your future blindside tackle in Ariante Ursary. So the Texans have a bright future. The offensive line is fine. I don't want to hear any more articles rumored about, the Texans should go after this player. The Texans should. Stop it. Jedrick Wills, I don't care if the Texans bring him in, but it's almost not a necessity when you have Cam Robinson, when you have Trent Brown, when you have Blake Fisher, when you have Ariante Ursary, when you have Laken Tomlinson, when you have Titus Howard, when you have Jaret Patterson, when you have Juice Scruggs. I mean, there's a lot of guys there in terms of the depth positions that they have. So, again, this is not a terrible idea, but I'm under the impression that this is not a likely move the media may think it is. Because everything that I'm hearing about how bad the Texans are right now is the fact that their offensive line is so bad, and the Texans should really look into rolling the dice with him. Yes, he's 26, but what does rolling the dice have to do when they just drafted a tackle out of Minnesota who they want to coach up? And then Blake Fisher's a second-round talent from last year. So why would you give up on him either? I question the logic here of why would you go after Jedrick Wills when you don't desperately need a tackle? Like if the Texans had, if they didn't sign Cam Robinson and they drafted Ursary, I would say, hey, fine, go out and get Jedrick Wills as somebody who's been in the league. Again, it was his rookie contract, so although he's a veteran, he's not like a deeper, 10-year veteran. Like I'd rather Cam Robinson because he has the ability to coach and mentor and be there for Ariante Ursary. Now, Cam Robinson has had his own troubles again, but again, he's been in the league longer than Jedrick Wills, and he's probably proven to be better than Jedrick Wills. So again, Wills is nothing surprising to me, and I'm really just finding it pretty baffling that people think that he should be signed. Again, for the right situation, the Texans could go after him. If, something goes wrong and you have multiple injuries, go out and sign him. But right now, the team is set for the season. You need to focus on narrowing down your 53-man roster before going out and signing another tackle, because there's a good possibility that you're going to see a couple guys in the wide receiving room not make the team. Maybe a tight end or two. Maybe Dameon Pierce or somebody in the running back room. But, this has been a trial and error between me trying to find content to talk about that's been on media related, and it's just absolute bogus. Like, the Texans are not signing Jedrick Wills. Can anyone concur to that? Nobody is, well, at least from the Texans. Nick Caserio is not interested in signing any tackles. It's not happening. Maybe a guard. Maybe to back up Laken Tomlinson, because Ed Ingram, I don't think he's going to be the guy, but you traded for him. So, again, there's just a lot to look forward to, and I think the line is set. The offense needs to work on figuring out what kind of system they're going to run with C.J. Stroud and their new weapons. They're not focused on offensive line. They're focused on coaching up their current offensive line, but they're not looking left and right to saying, hey, let's go get Jedrick Wills, who decided to sit himself out because of his knee injury. And we don't know if he'll be the same ever again. So he had a promising rookie year, but after that, it kind of just went all downhill, and then the knee injury was bad. So, again, do the Texans go out and sign Wills? I just don't think it's needed. It's not a necessity. And when you have a new offense that you need to get going, Nick Caley, new offensive coordinator, Jaden Higgins, new offensive weapon, Jalen Knoll, Christian Kirk, new offensive weapons, Justin Watson, Braxton Berrios, also new to the team. I think it's a lot better to worry about the weapons on your team and establishing an offensive rapport than worrying about, the Texans don't have offensive linemen. Focus on your current team. If they wanted to sign somebody, they would have done it right after the draft. So it's just kind of mind-boggling to me how the media is just like, all right, the Texans are not good at offensive line. The Texans are fine at offensive line. And if anyone thinks regardless, it's just, I'm probably going to be done talking about crazy dumb articles for a while because they all make it seem like the Texans don't have anything at the offensive line. And I can't wait until this is a middle-of-the-pack offensive line. There's nothing terrible about it, but there's nothing greatly great about it, if that makes sense. But it's a solid middle-of-the-pack offensive line, and sometimes that's all you need to go on a championship run. You needed weapons. Last year, that was proven with the fact that your offense was so bad when Tank Dell went down. You can't have... they did have Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell, so they probably didn't think that it would get to that point, but Nick Caserio planned for the future. He got a lot of depth at the bench spots. Justin Watson, caliber start. Am I saying it right? Oh my gosh. He's a caliber starter. Thank you. English is hard today, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Justin Watson, Braxton Berrios, although they're 5 and 6 wide receivers, John Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson's potential on the team, we don't even know if they'll be on the actual 53-man roster. They might be demoted to the practice squad just because of the depth at wide receiver, but that was needed because of the fact that your wide receiving core was kind of depleted from injury last year. So a lot of speculation on why the Texans don't have this great, powerful offensive line because they traded their best tackle away. I've had it. I'm sick and tired of all the rumors. If you want to hear me rant about how annoyed I was, because I'm just defeated at this point, about how they're actually interested. There's no way this is actually going to happen, or they're just honestly trying to promote the most, crazy thing for the Texans. News, this is going to happen. No, it's not. But if you want to hear me go deeper, in depth, in terms of how I ripped everybody for talking badly about the Texans offensive line, last video, I went off and basically said this offensive line is going to be fine. So trust the process. Nick Caserio did a great job this offseason. Do not tell me that the Texans are not ready to compete, because they can very well be a top 5, at least a top 10 team in the NFL. They have the receiving core to do it. They have the defense to back it up as long as it plays consistent like it did last year. And I can't wait for this season. Jedrick Wills may or may not be on the team. We don't know. I doubt it highly. But again, the offensive line is set. There's no and ifs or buts about it. I just don't believe it's going to happen. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is a crazy, wild situation. We'll try and find the latest scoop on you for the Texans news. This is the only thing I can find. I know Dameon Pierce is on the rumors of getting cut, potentially, just because Woody Marks is there. But he's on the last year of his contract, so we'll see if that happens. But it's just a lot to look forward to in terms of this season. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, 83% of you are not subscribed. Stay up to date with the channel. Hit that sub button. But again, let me know in the comments your thoughts. And this has been Mike Zanetti, Texans Digest. Jedrick Wills to the Texans, potentially linked. Probably not going to happen, but this has been Texans Digest. Appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you in the next video.